HHDG.
Peace, HHDG. We're on another episode of HHDG Media podcast. Big shout out to Rock Vader KB, T. Smith, the Mayor, Wiki, and Skelly Top. Shout out to our Facebook group checking in, HHDG Hip Hop Discussion Group. And as always, you go check out our website, hhdgmedia.com. Check out the music put up on there of artists some that we've interviewed and others quite possibly in the future will be on here, as well as our merch. Tonight, we got coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina, a young MC showing some true grinding, putting in work, showing some quality, lyricism. Always from what I heard when I first was introduced to him. When I was first introduced to him through another MC coming out of Charlotte, which we'll also speak on as well. Because, that's how I usually find a lot of artists, listening to one person that catches my ear. I gotta see what else they got out there. And he definitely caught my ear. Right now, he put out a project that also put me on to a producer that I wasn't too familiar with. And prior to that, he had another dope project, Chasing the Sun. We'll definitely talk about that one, what the message was with that, and how it was a transition of what the earth goes through from day to night. Definitely want to get into that. Also want to get into just some history on, coming up in Charlotte, because there's many styles coming out of that part of NC. Definitely want to hear about, his influences in that area, as well as, the influences that are shown through the music that he makes. I'd like to introduce Jaypluss.
What up?
Peace. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How you?
Doing good.
Very good.
Now, like I was saying in the intro, I was introduced to your music through Lord Jamonte.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my man's right there. For real.
Definitely. And just like you, he's been grinding and making his name known.
For sure.
I've seen him putting in the features.
Yeah.
Working with some notable producers in the U.S. as well as overseas as well.
He's everywhere, man. He everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him for real.
So let's get into it a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your come up. What was actually, let's start with what artist made you say, this is what I want to do?
Man, that's an ill question, because I had a lot of influences early on. You know what I mean? I always been a fan of music as far back as I remember. Probably 5 years old, sitting in the back of my mom's Camry. You know what I'm saying? Listening to the stuff that she's playing, just being in all of it. I ain't really get into about let's say probably about the 8th or 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
I was big on a lot of people, man, but I would definitely say it has a lot of roots to it, because I listen to so many people. I can't even just pinpoint one person who made me want to pick up the pen. I just thought that using the words the way that people do, and getting people to hold on to those words was a special thing. You know what I mean? So
absolutely, yeah.
In another lifetime, I probably could have been doing something else, some singing or some poetry or some country music or something because I'm so infatuated with the word and actually what it can do for people. So yeah, I don't really know if it was like one particular person. I know at points in my life I was big fans of a lot of people like Lil Wayne. I would listen to Wayne all the time. I would listen to. I had a point where I was listening to Currency all the time. He was dropping beats all the time.
Nice.
I traveled over to the West Coast to listen to people like Pac Div. They gave me heavy inspiration early on, just as far as making records. You know what I mean? Like they sparked that big thing to like make big sounding records if I could. Um, Nas, of course, Jay. Regular people who regular folks who people idolize, but then I got to doing my own digging. You know, coming up on things that maybe I missed. I was born in '93, so I probably had a lot to catch up on as far as hip hop. So, after Nas, it kind of just spiraled from there, and I was listening to everybody from Camp Low to fucking uh, I don't know, Company Flow or Madlib or Jay Dilla or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Nice.
and then those things really hit home for me. They sit and they'll never leave. So. Yeah, man, I grab inspiration from a lot of things, though. I mean, I've been around music a lot, and I see what music do for people on a day-to-day basis, and I think that really inspired me to pick up the
Gotcha, gotcha. So, take us on a ride with your mother back then.
word
What, what what's one of the songs that really stuck out for you?
I know that my mother had Maxwell CD that she used to wear out. You know what I mean? It was not Urban Hang Suite, but I think Black Summer Night. I think Black Summer Nights, and she used to listen to that. Of course, like a lot of other things, but I vividly remember being in the car with her listening to a lot of Maxwell, a lot of Mary J. Blige. My mom was a big R&B head, so
Mm.
like um, I really seen how R&B like touched women at that point when my mom was like, religiously playing these things in her car. So, stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Lauren Hill early. Ready or Not is one of the songs that gives me the most nostalgic feeling because I remember being in my mom's car listening to that when I was young. So like, just hearing Lauren Hill voice on the hook, it always kind of stuck with me. So,
I
yeah.
think it was about maybe almost 2 years now. I think I was down in Greensboro.
Uh,
Uh, one of our fellow HHDG media members, shout out T Smith, he's down there. He did a it was during the anniversary of Crush Crew, and
oh, okay.
he did a drive-in for the movie.
Uh,
And while I was down there, I'm always, since it's my first time around there, just absorbing the atmosphere, seeing, listening, what people are playing. So initially, when we flew down there, we came down into Charlotte International Airport.
that's fire. Fire.
So, like I was saying before, I was hearing all types of different music
Mm-hmm.
coming down
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of good names in Charlotte as far,
there. Hmm.
especially nowadays. Like they really picking up the pace and trying to make a name for the whole city. So yeah, nah, it's a lot of people, a lot of talent out in Charlotte. For real.
Now, one of the earlier tracks I remember you with Lord John Monty was "You Not Tapped." I think that was like what, volume 7
Yeah, yeah,
or 7. Okay.
yeah,
How,
yeah.
how
Nah,
long the two of y'all known each other?
Like Demonte is like that's like my brother, man. I know him since I moved to Charlotte. I moved to
Okay.
Charlotte in when I was maybe 12. I was just now heading into middle school, and me and Jamonte used to have the same science class. Ever since I known Jamonte, he was listening to music or had a notepad. He was writing and making sure his shit was tight. But yeah, I knew Jamonte since middle school, early middle school. So we got a pretty good history.
That's dope. And I believe the first track that I heard from you, I remember, I think it was Salvation.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I know you had that's when you had the flip by to, let me know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Hajino? Is that in
Azino.
Brooklyn?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So yeah, that song is that's one of my favorite joints. Just because the original joint was produced by my man's Frank Carrick. He's out of New Orleans. Pretty dope producer. You know what I'm saying? I met him through the graces of the internet. But we just linked up to make that record. I really liked how groovy it felt. You know what I mean? The original track. And
Yeah.
I think I made a post online one day like, yo, I got vocals to this track if anybody wanna, you know what I'm saying, do any flips to it. A couple people hit me up, a couple people did some flips. But Hygieno joint just really stuck with me. And I showed it to one of my mans who shoot videos. And it's like,
Yeah,
yo, we
yeah.
gotta shoot that. We gotta do a video for that. You know what I mean? So that's why that one is. It's got visual treatment to it and everything. He really liked the feel of that record. So yeah, that's how that came about.
Yeah. And the sound of each one, it has its own feel to it. Like one is more vocal, the other one is more instrumentation.
Yep, sure is. Sure is. Shout out to Hazino and shout out to Frank Garrett for both of those records, man.
Definitely, definitely. Mm. So that was 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and then in 2021, Chasing the Sun,
Right.
and you did that was a collaboration with Jay Bosco, also coming out of Charlotte.
Yes, sir. Originally from Virginia, but now based out of Charlotte. Sure. Yep.
Now in the intro, I was talking about. I wanted you to dive into this one because the feel of it is is a transition
Mm-hmm.
on this one, and also synonymous with the title "Chasing the
Right.
Sun," which is
Right.
also the first track. And
Yep.
as you go through it, it's like you're progressing through a day,
Mm-hmm.
and
For
then it
sure.
becomes nighttime.
Yep. Yep.
So for you, I mean, when you first came up with the concept, how did everything come to be?
I spent a lot of time linking up with my man's Jay Bosco. I'm pretty sure I got introduced to Jay Bosco through Jamonte. And I think we like went over his crib one day, smoking mad bud, and we was just recording. Stayed over there until like 1 in the morning. And like the next couple of days, we was already talking about like linking back up and doing something, but we didn't really know it was going to be an album. We just wanted to get in and cook up. And next couple of days, I go back over his crib. He's gracious enough to let me do that. This is around the time he's about to have his first kid, and also, we really in a working spirit, like trying to get things done. And yeah, man, I really just spent a lot of time at his house, going through records every night. I would come over there and at least pick one record, not two, and really kind of sit with him and try to paint a picture. I vividly remember him like jotting things down on his whiteboard, um, possible track lists that might could fit. I sat with him a lot through digging for samples,
Mm-hmm.
um, coming up with like concepts for the record based off of what I was saying, and even like through the artwork, we pretty much sat together the whole time. He didn't live too far away from me at the time, and we really sat with each other and kind of one brained it. We kind of mesh brains with each other when we were thinking about the album title and stuff like that. I think Chasing the Sun kind of came from a place where I was basically saying like, this is something that I do 24/7, think about or do 24/7, all day long, sun up to sundown. You know what I mean? So I just really thought on that and kind of wanted to make it a little poetic in a way with the album title Chasing the Sun, because that's like a you'll never actually chase the sun type thing. It's an ongoing thing. It's everlasting, and that's how I feel about myself and the music that I create. Like I want it to be everlasting and something that can stick and last forever. So Chasing the Sun really I brought the idea to Jaypluss and he like gave me the thumbs up on it after I dove into it like I did.
Yeah.
He really gave me the thumbs up on it to like, yeah, let's do this. And like even the track list was a little bit different from what we initially had when I came up with the name, because some of the records spoke to like the name. It spoke to
Okay.
Chasing the Sun. It kind of just formed itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It formed itself. And I know you mentioned the intro to the Chasing the Sun record, and that's a Richard Pryor joint, a Richard Pryor interview. He had it on vinyl. Jay Bosco had it on vinyl, so we were just listening through it and like, yo, we gotta find something to put in the beginning of this to set the tone. And me and him is big on our people, you know what I mean, and the weight that the pen holds with our people. Like we wouldn't want nobody else who wasn't our people to try to tell our story. And I just thought what he said right then was what's the word I'm looking for? It was shocking enough to get people's attention. It had shock value to it. It's kind of like I wouldn't just let anybody write my material, especially if they didn't come where I come. And that right there gave me the energy to, put it in the beginning of it. Rest in peace to Richard Pryor too, because phenomenal human being, almost.
Yeah. And that also goes back to what you were saying earlier about being able to remember what was written in songs and how powerful that is.
Yep. That's a fact. That's definitely a fact.
Let's talk a little bit about the artwork on this one.
Yep. The artwork really I think the artwork took the most time out of everything. I think the artwork took the most time in how we was going to paint the picture, as far as showing the daytime and the nighttime perception in like one image. So that was another thing we just sat through. Sometimes we didn't think like, the record would be done, all the songs would be done, but we would just go in and try to like ponder on an idea for the album cover, listen to different things. He would show me a lot of vinyls. I was looking through all the vinyls he had in his collection, just gaining inspiration from some of those that I seen. And at it's just funny because at the time I had a '97 Honda Civic, so that's why you see the green Honda on the front of that. That's the Honda that I drove on the front of the cover. And it's really a day in the life type thing. For real, it's really how me and him seen ourselves listening to this album. You know, I think after the album even got done, we kind of just took a long ride and let the album play. You know what I mean? Like we just went outside in his whip and just took a ride through the city and kind of let it play. And that's kind of the image that we got for that artwork. It's just a day in the life type thing, you know. Real every day.
I was gonna say in the video Salvation, is that the same car?
Yep, it is. Yep. Surely is, man. I was probably just now starting to work on Chasing the Sun when Salvation dropped. Like just now, early. Yeah.
Cool. Now, you in one of the songs, you had a reference to Batman and Robin,
Mm-hmm.
like in the choice, and then you went on to transition to Johnny Quest and Haji.
Right.
So my question is, because that's old school right there.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of cartoons were you watching back then?
Yo, I'm a big cartoon head, or at least I was. You know, I really watched a lot of everything. I can't remember a cartoon that I didn't watch. We used to have a channel on like cable, Time Warner Cable or something that had the Boomerang channel on it. So I would just always get to see the old, you know, my step pops, he was like real big on the old cartoons, putting me on to like all the stuff that I missed. And, you know, he seen I was interested in cartoons. So he used to play me all the stuff. And he even had a lot of stuff recorded like on VHS for me to watch, Transformers and all this other stuff, Voltron and all kind of other things. I was heavy in the anime, Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. This is my older years, but just, you know, a lot of good cartoons, anime and just regular cartoons in general. I'm a big fan. Was a big fan of superheroes. You know, we went to go see all the DC and Marvel movies that ever came out, X-Men and all of that. So yeah, I think my household really played a big part in. My brother too, he was a big cartoon head, so we both just shared that common interest. And
nice.
Then I got to school and realized there's a lot of people who was cartoon heads and anime heads and people I could relate to, and you know, seeing how far spread it was. So, you know, it's always been a part of my life. I can't wait to introduce my son to that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna be dope to be able to see. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, both of my sons are into anime too. Like I have been for so many years. So you know, just to see that and have something to relate to them and talk about.
Mm-hmm. It's dope.
Great. Yep.
You know, a lot of times, and it's my bad. I didn't even cut you off, but a lot of times in anime, bro, like they really speak on things that regular TV shows never speak on. They really put it in a. They really put it in like a ill way. It's still anime and it's still a cartoon, but you really can catch hold to the meaning of what they're saying if you look a little further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean they have the drama type, the slice of life type of anime, where it's like everyday life, but even the whole fantasy type of virtual world, or you know, superheroes or demons, whatever it is, there's always that underlying real life emotions and situations going on.
Right. For
Oh, you know.
real.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For real. I was just watching the Boondocks, and the Boondocks is one of the realest shows ever. Like Aaron McGruder really did what nobody has ever been able to do with a cartoon for real.
Yeah.
Like he shows stuff in the most in the most type of gruesome yet like uh satisfying way to a person of our skin complexion. Like we really understand what this man is saying through anime, through comics, through cartoons. You feel me? Like he really um, pushed a lot of envelopes. I know it was even one episode where um, he was kind of like doing like a parody on Tyler Perry and with the Mardia episode, and it's funny because I heard somewhere that Tyler Perry really didn't like that. He really wanted them to kind of take that down, and they were like, don't televise this. Like, why are y'all doing this? But and I don't even think they show it on that episode on TV no more. Like you could catch it on the internet, but I don't think they really show it on the TV. And
Yeah. Originally
I
aired.
just thought, yeah, I thought that speak to like what Aaron McGruder was really doing. It's really like putting the things people know already inside their face, really
Yeah.
letting them see it, and bringing it stuff to life. Yeah, anime and cartoons they tell a lot that regular stuff don't show. So I really mess with that part of it too.
That's great. Yeah. And with the Boondocks, I really can't remember too many comic strips that made it to the point of an animated show.
Facts.
That was a milestone right there.
Facts. That mean he has something to say. Somebody seen
Mm.
that. Somebody seen it and was like, "Yo, we need to put this on television." You know what I mean? Like this has to go somewhere where it can be widely syndicated, where people can watch it all the time because not only is it a good comic, the and the style of it. Not only is that dope, not only is it black folks, but you're saying something inside of it, inside of the comic, inside of the everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
It's
really
not
mess
just
with it.
entertainment.
Yeah, you got great casting for all of the roles. Rest in peace, pops. You know what I mean? Because we'll never get another pops, and that just makes me feel a little sad because it's like that means we'll never get another Boondocks. You know what I mean? We'll never get another season of that because how do you fill those shoes? How do you leave that big part out of Boondocks? It probably won't be the same. You know, but anyway, yeah, he definitely did his thing with casting and everything. So yeah, nah, that's a great show. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you definitely have a lot to chill and show your son as he's growing.
For sure, man. For sure. I can't wait.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna mention the video game, and I want you to tell the people why it's so significant.
Okay.
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Oh man. Oh man. All I can say is that game is the truth. The soundtrack to that game really, really brought me into like really, really writing like over hip hop beats. Before that, I wasn't really interested in like what is considered to be like a boom bap beat. You know what I mean? I was a small kid listening to whatever's on the radio or whoever is hot right now. I wasn't really focused on like listening. You know what I mean? Actually listening to what the beats were doing. And Knuckles had a soundtrack on there. Um, Shout out to the dude who wrote all of Knuckles' songs on there too. I don't know his name, but he was a dope lyricist, man. He really um over the '90s type boom bap beats. He was like um narrating all of the stages that you went through with Knuckles. I think it's like 9 tracks on there, and Knuckles got like 9 levels of gameplay. And on every single one of them, there's dude like really rapping about like he's Knuckles. You know what I mean? Like, and I know this is a regular dude, but he's literally taking you through all of the boards through his raps. You know what I mean? So from the first one to the last one, and I just thought that, you know, it wasn't until later on that I realized what he was doing. I just thought the music sounded right. But once I got older and really realized like what he was saying in those joints while I was playing the game, it kind of just changed me forever. You know what I mean? As a penman, as somebody who uses the pen, that was a really dope game. I had it on GameCube too. I know it was a minute ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I'm
dope.
glad you asked about that, man. That's some real tight stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something significant for each lyricist out there. You know, it's not always the same thing. And when I saw that, I was like, I got to ask him about that.
Yeah, nah, that's some stuff only certain people would know.
Another thing that I enjoy listening to in your music is you always put a message. Speaking of our people, whether it be Black history, questioning, certain things with our culture now, things that we
Mhm.
go through,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I think that's pivotal for our people to do, kind of tell our story. Like I said, I wouldn't want nobody who not of my skin complexion to try to tell my story as far as hip hop goes. I wouldn't want nobody to do that.
Now we spoke about your project, Chasing the Sun.
Right.
Before we go on and talk about your next project, tell us a little bit about your writing process.
Um, my writing process in general, you asked?
Yeah.
Yeah, my writing process is, I don't know, it's all inspired for real. You know, I get inspired by the things that I hear. Like, I don't do a lot of writing to like nothing. I don't do a lot of writing to no beats or nothing like that. It's always usually a beat that like speaks to me first and makes me want to write something. Makes me want to say something. It's the feel of the record. However it feel made me want to talk on it. You know what I mean? So that's usually how I start to write anyway nowadays.
So talk about this man's inspiration for you.
My boy Jay Dilla. He got the vinyl up. Yeah, nah, Jay Dilla is the guy, man. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know about Jay Dilla either. Like Detroit legend, really, really made a lot of people soulful again.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He really sparked that inspiration for a lot of people to be soulful as far as hip hop is concerned. Everybody was trying to be like hard before Jay Dilla and the whole soul Aquarian movement, you know, all the neo soul type stuff. People wasn't really trying to do that until Jay Dilla hopped on and really took it further. Jay Dilla is really uh, top 5 producer of all time. Maybe even top 2. Like I can't even. It's not a lot of people that I can put up there in his caliber. Like that's the type of stuff that I look at.
Yeah. I've been listening to him for a long time, since early Slum Village.
Hmm.
So, I've seen, the other artists that he's worked with, and then his own stuff. Just to see his elevation, it's been amazing.
Right.
And then later on in years, find older stuff that I never heard before. Just makes you even bigger fan.
Yep, it does. For real. It's like he'll never die. Like, you know, he'll never die. He'll still be here. You know what I mean? Even though he died in 2006, like he'll never. The music will live forever. Type thing. And that's the stuff that inspired me to do stuff. That's why he's such a good inspiration. Like, you know, the fact that it's so timeless and how it'll live forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I say music is so powerful.
It is.
So now we move on to the next project in 2021. Chicago.
Sir. Yes, sir. Hey. Not at all.
Now, before we get into this, um, is 1010 the producer on the project? Is he originally
Yeah.
from Zimbabwe?
Yeah, he is. He is actually.
Okay.
His people are definitely from there. I don't want to misquote my man's. I don't know how much time he spent in Zimbabwe, but I know that his people are definitely from there, and yeah, most definitely.
Dope, dope. So tell us how the two of you linked up.
That's my man's, yo. That's my man's. Really, again through connections of Jamonte. You feel me? Like, just traveling with him out of state and kind of meeting people and doing my thing as far as a relationship is concerned. I like to make relationships with the people who are like I feel like we are like minded. I like to keep a relationship good. And 1010 is like one of those people. It's effortless for you to have a relationship with him, a solid relationship, because he's such a genuine dude. You know what I mean? On top of the fact that he just ill. You know what I mean? His people come from Zimbabwe. He got this whole New York, real New York hip hop essence about him. You could hear it in the instrumentation that he used. And like my man is just ill. You know what I mean? It's a real cool person to have around. He's hella easy to work with. Every time we link and work on something, it's 30 minutes or less, something that's coming out of it. You know what I mean? Not a day later, you know what I mean? We got something to listen back to. You feel me? So it's like, yeah, 1010 is the man. Definitely met him in New York politicking with everybody, just meeting everybody. And he was one of
Yeah.
the people that really 1010 really showed me like what a producer could be doing on his end. You know what I mean? He go and take the extra mile and like, as far away as he is, or what it seemed like, since, I'm in Charlotte and he's in Jersey, you know what I mean? Like he take the extra mile to like, you know, come up with ideas, think of ideas, and continuously send beats 4 or 5 at a time, just so I can have fresh stuff to get my mind off. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
everything. He's kind of really dedicated to making something happen when we start working, and that's the type of energy that I like. You know what I mean? It's somebody on the other end who's very, very dedicated to seeing something come out. You know what I mean? Like making sure that I'm still inspired and all of this. Like he was, he's very easy to work with. You know what I mean? And shout out to my boy 1010 if you're watching. Shout out to you.
Definitely. Yeah, his sound it has that East Coast that boom bap to it. And at the
Yep.
same time, he brings a smoothness to it as well. It doesn't always have to be that hard knocking, but he got that smoothness too in it.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. And that's my shit. I love smooth shit. Like I said, my mom, she was playing smooth shit. She was playing that, you know what I mean? That you ain't gotta be hard to, you just chilling. You feel me? Like you're really, really cooling out and getting with yourself. And I really fuck with what he brings on that end too. Shout out to you for saying that. He definitely brings some fun. a smooth vibration, and I fuck with it always.
Now, before we go a little further into the album, I see that being that you and Lord Diamante travel a lot,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed one thing from him. So I'm sure at the same time you will absorb it the same way. He beginning to learn the business and the politics as well with the music.
Mm-hmm.
And as you just mentioned, the networking is vital. You know, if
Yeah.
you're organic with somebody when you first approach them and everything, it might lead to a good relationship.
Yep.
And he's been showing that, and I see at the same time from speaking with you right now, you're doing the same.
Word up. Yeah, nah, definitely, man. Definitely. Demonte showed me a lot about that too, you know what I mean? Just being open to like make a relationship with somebody. Somebody you could see yourself like making some shit with, somebody who match your vibration, somebody, you know, I really I really fuck with that. You know what I mean? That's always a good thing for any artist to have the ability to just make a relationship with somebody who's solid about it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, because people gonna fuck with that off gate, they gonna be able to tell and get up. And from there, it's the sky's the ceiling. You know what I mean? You can work with as many artists as you want to doing that kind of stuff. So,
so tell us about the first track, the intro,
yo,
the 58th and Fifth Ave.
58th and Fifth Ave, man, yo, that's a I really this like my favorite project so far. You know what I mean? It feels very cohesive to me. Not like all my other joints don't feel cohesive, but this one feel um like one sound. I feel like Chasing the Sun was like many different sounds, still the same sound, but many different ones, different variations of that sound. And this one was like, yo, I'm gonna just do what I normally do on every record. Feel me? Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna just do that, you know what I mean, and see how far it goes. And I think that even from jump, even from the intro record, man, like I was just ready to eat. You know what I mean? Like I wrote a lot of these songs back in Charlotte, but we took a trip up to New York. I want to say maybe like a year and a half ago. This is probably like our second time going up there or some shit. And I got in good with my boy Gam, another person I made a strong relationship with out in Brooklyn. Uh,
it's also
I got
featured
him.
on that.
Yeah, he's also featured on there. He came to Gam, a little backstory on Gam before I get into the intro. But uh, backstory on Gam, Gam came down to North Carolina, Siler City to be exact, where he was politicking with my boy Christian. Christian makes beats as well. Producer, ill producer out of North Carolina. Um, yeah, Gam and a bunch of other homies from New York came down to Christian's house one day, and everybody just stayed in the house for like 3 days and just made music, made a lot of shit,
Uh,
and established a lot of relationships. I mean, it was well over like 20, 25 people in the house. You know what I mean? Just there, like making music and being creative. So that's where I met a lot of heads. You know what I mean? For the very first time. Gam was one of those people. Beezy, uh, my boy Lungs, a bunch of people. There was a bunch of Charlotte cats up there too. So they was just making connections, and I really made a lot of strong relationships out there with those people based off of like the fact that everybody had one common thing, and everybody thought each other was ill. It was kind of cool to see. Just because you don't really see that happen a lot, like you don't see a lot of really good artists get in one space for a very long time and try to just make
yeah,
it.
I like
You know what I
that.
mean? So, like you don't really get to see that, and everybody has availability to like make that happen at that one time. So that's why it was pretty cool. Um, like that kind of established the connection between North Carolina as far as I am as an artist, and New York. That's why I'm good to go back up there and politic again and do it again and again and again because of the relationships that I made in South City. So Gam was one of those people that was there, and he was doing a lot of engineering and um, just all around like technician like work while we was like all creating. He wasn't really writing records and stuff like that. Gam just really started to write records, but
Oh,
his growth is tremendous. Like you wouldn't even know that. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even know that he just started writing. Like before, my man's was behind on the engineer table, like getting it in. You feel me? Like still is to this day. Like records all of it. Recorded the whole Ashigaru, like what I'm about to get into. Recorded all of it. So I'm up in New York. This is fast forward and getting into the intro now. But I'm up in New York and I'm recording most of all of the joints up there in New York. You know what I mean? And a
yeah.
couple records I cut up there, and 58th and 5th Ave is one of those records that I cut up there. 58th and 5th Ave is basically a ode an OD to like me going to New York and the block that we be on when I be in New York. You feel me? Like 58th and 5th Ave is where we at the time. It's the dungeon. It's where we was cooking up on. It's where all this shit about to come to earth. So I just thought it was dope, kind of like lay that landmark and like this is the first record that I'm going to. It's like I spent a lot of time with 1010 and politicking on the album and stuff like that.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, just you talking about having a 3 day jam session like that with what
yeah,
creative talents,
yeah,
man, so much comes from that. And when I don't hear it too often, but every when I do hear someone speak of that type of creativity going on, it reminds me of early jazz.
yeah, yeah. Just jam sessions, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Facts. That's a fact, man. That's how it should be. We are musicians. We should want to get
Yeah.
into stuff like that. So, it was fire, man. Really dope.
This album was mastered by Timepiece coming out of Australia. Is that another Jamonti link up right there?
Yeah, 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 it was. Like he actually threw me the lob on that. He threw me the lob and said, "Yo, Tom Piece is nice, bro." Like I think he did one of Jamonte. I can't even remember which record he did with Jamonte, but yeah, he just told me about him. Like told me, "Yo, he'll do this and in a timely manner too. Like he'll work with you. It's cool. Like he's trying to work with everybody." I hit him up, and lo and behold, he was cool to do it. You know what I mean?
That's
Shout out
right.
to Tom Piece too, man.
Yeah.
He got a lot of people records sounding pretty nice. So yeah,
Yeah. He's
Mr.
also a dope producer for those that are listening.
Facts. Facts. That is a fact.
One of my favorite tracks on here is Funny Style with Gam.
Yeah, yeah,
It just seemed like, the two of y'all were working so well together. That track had me thinking these two could, do a
yeah.
project together the way y'all sound on here.
Warm it up. Nah, that's fire, man. Gam would probably be ecstatic to hear that, man. That's crazy. That's really dope, bro. I'm glad he got on the record too. I'm glad he was up to the every time I ask him like, yo, you trying to get on this or yo, I'm trying to get on this. It's always open for him. You feel me? Because
Yeah,
I know how hungry he is about all of the other stuff he do. You feel me? He can only be that way about writing in the pen too. So you know what I mean? Like Game is my man's 100 grand, so he already know. You know what I mean? Like he already knows it's open for him. That's one of my favorite records too. Funny Style. Funny Style is a record I wrote. Um, in Brooklyn actually, and I'm not even sure what made me say or like start speaking that way, but the beat, the drums on the beat is kind of like, yo, these are in your face. You feel me? Like I gotta say something that's like on my heart and spirit, but at the same time like real ferocious in a ferocious way. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of like pick from an idea that I felt was kind of a ferocious thing to talk about. So like, you know, uh, dudes is funny style, hate when they come around, giving the runaround, fake daps and pounds. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like, I'm talking about the people that's just around to kind of suck the energy dry and, not really want to be on board with what's going on, and just haters, like they're haters. Anybody who hate, and what if it look like hate, that's what it is. You feel me? So like that's kind of where I got the idea from, like, you know saying funny style, or even thinking about something that is funny style. Like, yo, that's how a lot of niggas be moving. They really be funny sometimes. There's a lot of those people, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
in the game that we play, there's a lot of folks who don't. It's not. I don't know. That's kind of where it all came from. Though. That
Yeah.
song, in particular, right?
And I'm sure you've been picking up on that, as you've been in your travels,
Yeah, for
working with
sure.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good though. It ain't no love lost for anybody who who may think anything. It ain't no love lost. It's just like, yeah, I already peep what it is. Because this thing is for me. You feel me? At the end of the day, rapping and shit, like, this shit is for me. So it's not. It is for everybody else, but once I put it out to everybody else, then it's for everybody else. But initially, that shit is for me, and like to get my heart and my spirit right. You feel me, with the right vibrations and what I could do with my talent. So that's why it really don't matter. But that was a good subject to kind of put in a song. So something that I probably wouldn't normally speak on or anything like that. I just like, I just let it slide. This time I'll just make a record about it. So
Mhm. You performed Ashigaru in Brooklyn at the donut shop earlier this year.
mhm.
I seen the energy in that
Yeah,
room
man.
when you performed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that your first time doing the whole album?
Yeah, it was. Nah, that was fire, man. That was a good time. Uh, that was our first time performing the Ashigaru in full for people. Um, I was just kind of prepared for it, ready for it. You feel me? Like, I already know sort of the spot that I'm in, being in Brooklyn and around folks that I kind of already know anyway. Like, I already know the energy in the room. Like you said, I can already feel that. So I just was waiting to be able to go perform this shit. I think me and Tintin talked about it a few times. Yo, I can't wait to perform this. It's gonna go crazy. Like, yo, we're gonna get it all set up, the whole mix and the whole nine. So yeah, man, it was dope. It was a good time and a good turnout.
You know, thankfully, it's great to see live performances again with the way the pandemic was and everything, because I know that's a very vital part
Yeah,
for MCs
it
and
is.
DJs. Right there, got to have that live performance,
Right,
and at the same time, you're giving people some great memories to go home to at the end of the night.
right. It's a fact. You're starting to pick back up though, as far as pandemic and all of that. It's starting to
Yeah,
pick back up for people, and I really like these times. Yeah, something like this is possible.
yeah, definitely. Hmm. So, any videos you might be coming up?
Yeah, I got a few videos in mind. I've been like, I moved to Georgia not too long ago, when my son was born. Um, and while I've been down here, I've just been trying to establish different relationships and, you know, build friendships with people so that when the time is right, I could just go ham and, put things out on a regular basis. But for now, I really just been in the crib writing a lot, um, working with a bunch of different producers as well, just trying to touch all bases as far as my writing is concerned. And doing a little bit of recording here and there, but not like a lot. Really just focusing on my pen, making sure it's sharp when I'm ready to strike again. I feel like Ashigaru uh, really helped me with the time span, with how much time I had to kind of put another record out or another video or anything. So yeah, I'm just taking that time. I got a couple things lined up, but I just been taking the time that it's allowed.
Gotcha, gotcha. But is there anything that you've been writing for Ashigaru too?
Yeah, nah, 1010 definitely been sending a few things, man. I just been like I said, I just been taking the time to really get it right and really try to recreate not the same feeling, but something like a little, a step above that shit. You know what I mean? And really trying to dive deep into the next one and make it what we trying to talk about, what the whole goal is. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Definitely been writing to a couple 1010 beats, but 1010 more beats.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Looking forward to that. One other person we didn't mention yet, I know that was affiliated with the the album is Mike Digi.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Nah, Mike is my man. Mike Disney. He recorded some of the tracks on the record too on Ashigaru as well. Um, this was my roommate before I moved to Georgia. This is my man. We met probably 2.5 years ago now. Through the graces of Jamonte, he was just a friend of Jamonte's who was at the crib one time.
Hmm.
Made a connection with him and ended up being roommates and stuff. Like ended up rooming together and stuff. So um, throughout that time, me and him just created a lot of material. Me and Mike we had a lot of stuff. And in between, I was like recording things with him as he tried to, he was just trying to, get his footing in recording and stuff like that. So I recorded a lot of things at the house at my other space. That's why it was kind of easy. But yeah, Mike Digi is my man. Shout out to Mike, man.
And had did you meet Silence in while you traveled to Brooklyn?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
I was another easy link up, another easy genuine dude. You feel me? Like somebody that you could tell. I think I went to Brooklyn. I can't remember exactly, but I believe it's like that's my third time going up there. And I think I just posted on Twitter like, yo, I'm in Brooklyn, I'm trying to work. So I was the first person to hit me up. I'm like, oh, my man, like, yo, come through to the crib. We recording right now. He pulled up, you feel me? Had the record for him, and he just sliced through it. You feel me? That's really how it goes anyway. I thought it was love, like for him to even pull up, like when I said that. You feel me? Most of the time when I said it on Twitter or something, I don't expect nobody to like really actually tap in because I just feel like if they not about to anyway, you feel me? Like whatever. Like so, the fact that he even pulled up and wanted to do the record was meant to be. I was like, oh, yeah, let's get it. And luckily, he fucked with the track. And yeah, man, like
So, so, man. So Um, what kind of music does your son enjoy right now?
My son enjoy anything with a sound, honestly. Anything that make noise, anything. You know, he likes sounds. You know, and I could be playing anything on the TV game. You know, like so. My son is my son is dope. He's a dope little kid, man.
Good there, good there. Mm. So you let the people know that you've been doing a lot of writing, so we can expect definitely some dope work coming in soon.
Yes, sir.
Um, is there anybody that you would like to work with, whether it be a producer or MC?
Um, I like to work with anybody who genuinely want to work. You know, anybody who genuinely want to work out or work with me. You feel me? Like I definitely want to tap into all those people. I'm a fan of a lot of people's material. You feel me? But like I'll be willing to work with just about anybody who wants to work with me as far as being real work. Especially if I like the music. So definitely a lot of
Okay, okay. Okay, okay. So, what would you like the people to gain from listening to J Plus?
um how do I put this? Can you repeat the question one more time?
I was saying, what would you like the people to gain from listening to J Plus?
I would like for them to gain an understanding of who I am as a person, the day to day things that I go through, the things that I think about on a daily basis that I may not be
Mm,
speaking. My views on life, my views on the music, my views on just being a good person. You know what I mean? We're trying to always be positive about stuff, about who you are, and yeah, man. Anything about me for real, like coming from me, and if the person could figure out something about me from listening to my music, I think that I'm in the right direction. You know, I'm here to kind of tell my side of things. So
there you go.
you know,
Appreciate that. You know, bring your personality to the music. You know, it gives a insight to who you are.
straight up,
You know, not like I was saying earlier in the interview. Not too many people do that because some people are just chasing the money or
yeah,
just to
that
be famous.
that. And I think you could tell who those people are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like we were talking about this interview. Like, you usually tap in with people who you find to be really chasing something, really have an end goal, really to see somebody going far with it. So, you know, um, that's just a big part of being an artist. You know what I mean? Having that side of
Definitely, definitely. I appreciate you taking the time to let me speak with you. You know, let the
it.
world hear about J Plus. You know, the
Yeah,
music you have out there, the music you're working on now, and just you.
right up.
You know,
I
this
appreciate
is
you, man.
this is another part of what people enjoy about the artists that they're listening to.
Right
You know,
up.
learn a little behind the scenes type of stuff with the
Yes,
music as
sir.
well as the person that they are.
Yes,
So I
sir.
appreciate this.
Yes, sir. Thank you for keeping it alive, man. Shout out to HHDG Media. You know what I mean? Y'all is the goat, man. Y'all keeping it running, tapping in with everybody in the underground. People moving right now. But yeah, man, keep doing it.
Appreciate that. Definitely.
Right there.
As always, give you shout outs and let the people know where they can go and support your music.
Word up, man. Shout out to HHDG Media one more time. Shout out to everybody out here really creating and making the best music that they possibly can, using their talents for what they need to. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my whole family. Shout out to my son. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody listening too. Shout out to Quinton, my boy. He out here. You know what I mean? And yeah, y'all can find me anywhere. Everything's available everywhere. Jaypluss, Jaypluss. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can find it anywhere and everywhere. Go find it.
Dope, dope, dope. And cassettes of Chasing the Sun, are they still available?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely got a couple of them left, man. So y'all can grab those.
Cool. And from last what I read, the remaining Ashigaru
Yes,
cassettes
sir.
are available.
Yes, sir.
Um, Top Shelf Premium, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's one more there, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah,
One last joint. If not, then you got the last one. But I had to double check with that. I think it's one last one.
dope, dope, dope. And a quick promo for Top Shelf Premium. They're having their supply and demand event going on Saturday, August 27th. If you've been to the previous one before, you know this is true hip hop culture at its finest. You got events, you got merch being sold there, you got dope performances going on, and it's about to continue again later this month. So, once again, Jaypluss coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina. The South still got something to say.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your time.
Already, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. On behalf of HHDG Media, I'm going to say peace.